Welcome, everybody, to Through the Mist, episode 24. How's everybody doing today?
Good.
Good.
Nice.
Good.
It's good to see all your smiley faces since I missed you last week. But speaking of, we've had a couple of weeks off, so let's do a quick recap. Plus, I think Adela might have missed the last episode. So, Adela, do you remember ending where you had grabbed that creature in the kind of like sewer drain that was going off of the main tunnel? And that's where we had ended the last episode that you were in?
Yes.
Okay. Well, shortly thereafter, several more of those creatures had slinked their way out of the multiple drains up and down the tunnel that you were in, and combat ensued.
Nice.
Together, you and the Kaylin and Yona, the couple of fellows that were coming with you from the Caliban camp, had driven off, killed some of these creatures, driven off some others. Kaylin seemed a little worried now that you had all done battle and caused the death of a couple of what he called them the Marikith's Queen children. But as you continued down the tunnel a little, you ended up finding some more of those children that he went forward to speak with. It seemed like they had gone through the offshoot tunnels, those who had escaped, and wrapped around and were speaking with others that were up ahead. Speaking with those, he had managed to convince them to not further engage with you, and that if you could find the creature that is running loose throughout this realm, then you could bring it to the queen as a gift, and hopefully she would not take offense to your murdering of her children. So at the fork in the road, you had chosen to go right because the others, the Marikith that you had seen, had gone left, and so you're hoping maybe you'll get lucky if you go this way. Does that sound right, everyone?
Yes.
Perfect.
I believe so.
Boy.
All right. So, go ahead.
No, that's all right. I'm good.
So as you head down that tunnel, pretty quickly it begins to shift where it seems like a lot of the stonework of this tunnel has fallen apart, and it's just kind of like mud and stone and some liquid. You're not really sure. It doesn't have like a really strong pungent smell, so you don't think it's like sewer water, but it seems like it's kind of collapsed in on itself a little bit and doesn't really have that structured feel any longer. Can you all see the new kind of purpley map? Just verifying.
Yeah.
And can you move your tokens?
Yes.
Perfect. Just wanted to make sure. All right, so you're in this kind of I don't want to say it's a natural tunnel. It's more like the tunnel that, like, what had been structured is beginning to fade away as nature reclaims it. What's your marching order?
I mean, I'm okay where I'm at.
Okay.
I feel.
Kaylin's kind of scouting out ahead.
Yeah, I'm fine with where I am.
Perfect. All right.
Yeah.
So as you all head down this tunnel, you notice up ahead there's some very faint ambient light, kind of a bluish tint that's illuminating some of the walls. And as you draw closer, you notice that there are some fungus growths that are very softly glowing. Mostly they're just patches of kind of a fuzz, but out of some of that there are some larger kind of mushroom disc-shaped growths that also glow. Continuing on.
Continuing on.
Okay. So Kalen kind of explains he's never really been down this way. Usually the others, the Mariketh, take him on the right-hand path because that is the way to go to get to the Mariketh Queen. And so he's not really sure what to expect. But you all come to a corner. Just kind of seems to veer pretty sharply off to your left. And everyone go ahead and make a perception check.
Did they change the dice on
Oh, maybe.
well, look at that. Yeah, there's like a new animated dice thing in D&D Beyond that I was not expecting, with clicky clack sounds.
Yeah,
Hooray.
I do
mine
not
would, but
know
it
if
didn't
mine
push through.
pushed.
Oh yeah,
I
mine I thought did, but
I only see Lilith, but if everyone else wants to tell me what they got.
3.
I got
Amazing.
8.
Okay. And Lyra?
18.
18. All right. So as you're kind of progressing down, you notice Lilith and Lyra. There's kind of a dripping noise. Maybe, water dripping. But very faintly under that, there's kind of the noise of moving earth, kind of like somebody's like churning like dirt.
Like digging a grave.
Your grave. Oh, no. What do you do?
I mean, they're clearly making compost.
As one does, right? They are eco-friendly. Perfect.
Mm-hmm. It's hard to get things to grow. You got to make sure the dirt's just right. Definitely have to mix up organic matter.
Absolutely. The funny thing is, all of you are organic matter, so just, keep that in mind.
Awesome.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, they may be organic matter, but I'm glitter, and glitter is not organic. I'll have that,
Yeah, we'll say that your
Wait,
glitter
he's
that you
all
kind of spray off is definitely not organic. It's like,
Right.
it's just plastic. You're just like polluting the oceans.
Forever.
Right.
It never leaves. Forever. They say diamonds are forever, but no, the Fae are forever.
Glitter.
Glitter.
So Kaylin and Yona are moving forward, and Kaylin kind of drops to the ground and is looking around. And as the four of you approach behind, he gestures, and very quietly, he says, "Bones." And sure enough, like scattered across the ground, a lot of them were kind of like churned into the ground. You see bones, not necessarily bleached white, but stripped of flesh.
Is it clear what kind of bones they are?
Would you like to make a medicine check for me?
Sure.
I would like to join that. If
Sure.
That's okay.
You could either both roll, or you could do. Let's just take Liz's roll there. The two of you together kind of look around at them, and it looks like a mixture. Actually, you definitely notice some animal bones. Seems kind of like dogs or something, but maybe a little distended. It's kind of weird. And some kind of humanoid-looking bones. And they're pretty easy to tell because of the skulls.
I say we continue on. I'm going to continue on very cautiously.
Okay. So as you
Yeah.
step through this area, it's the ground's kind of mushy, almost spongy as you move through Twiggy and Dizzy, what are you two doing?
I'm just gonna press on.
Okay.
I'm gonna sit on. Or I'm gonna be still sitting on Lilith's shoulder. I mean, I can normally see in the dark, but I'm resting right now.
As one does,
You know.
right.
As one does. Resting my eyes.
Okay. So that dripping noise gets a little louder as you turn around the corner here, and you can see, Lyra, your passive is ridiculous, yeah?
Yeah, like 18.
So on the map, do you see these tunnels that go off to the north and south?
Okay.
Instead of like really seeing like a tunnel going off there, you see more of like a hole in the dirt of the wall that seems like it's kind of collapsed in on itself. But obviously there was some kind of tunnel that went off those directions.
Okay, but there's no way to get through them now.
No, it doesn't look like it.
Okay. Well, that's a little weird to her. She's actually going to ask Kalen if he knows what happened to the tunnels.
You know, Kalen will make a check here. Let me grab his character sheet. Sorry, I should have had this open already. Let's do a survival check. So Kalen goes up and he looks at it, and his larger eyes definitely like swiveling around and really taking in things, and he kind of tilts his head and he's like, this has definitely worked. This is not like a cave-in. Like something did this. I couldn't tell you what though.
Well, that's suspicious. Lyra doesn't like it. She'll just be like, okay. And now she's kind of like watching and like looking at the walls to make sure that like whatever caused the quote-unquote cave-in in those tunnels is not about to happen to them as they continue for it.
Totally fair. All right, if you want to move yourselves to keep up with Kalen and Yona, shortly thereafter, you notice that there's a bend in the tunnel. It heads back the direction that you were originally heading. There's these kind of like protrusions that stick out of the walls, both high and low, and as you're looking at them, they almost look as though something had moved through here and pushed them up off to the sides. And as you go around the corner there, you see a large patch of those glowing mushrooms that are illuminating more of those holes in the sides of the tunnel that have been filled in by this kind of worked earth. You notice, and everyone notices this at this point, that dripping noise. It's weird. It's kind of echoey and doesn't quite sound like a drop of water hitting another pool of water. It's more like this weird kind of undulating noise of liquid every so often just kind of making almost like a ping, like a sonar ping. Hello, baby.
Oh, baby.
What do you do?
I mean, this noise is coming from in front of us, yes?
It does seem to be coming from the direction you were heading towards, yes.
Okay.
We stay extra quiet and slowly press on.
Okay.
I mean, I guess there's such things as underwater or underground caves. Like Lyra, like water caves. Like Lyra's like, what sort of like body of water? Like, you know, like an undulating water. Like that's we're underground. That's weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, make me you could do a nature or a survival check, Lyra.
Okay, she's gonna take nature. Oh,
Nice.
and
Yeah,
here we go again with
you're
the
just
dice
having
fire.
you're just having a hard time really figuring out what this noise is. It's very strange. It's kind of unsettling, but it's more like because you can't tell what it is that it's unsettling to you. Like
Right.
you feel like you should know.
She should know, but she
Right.
just, it's kind of like trying to think of a word and just like on the tip of your tongue. And she's like, oh, forget it. And she probably just like keeps going.
And as you're, as that kind of like weird jittery sensation is there, you notice that the hair on your arms, the little nubs on your head haven't faded away yet. Like there's definitely a tension that seems to be holding this partial transformation in place.
Great. Great.
It'll be fine,
Love
right?
that.
It'll be fine.
She'll be totally fine. Absolutely, she'll be fine.
Dizzy, what are you doing?
I am going to be keeping a lookout.
Okay.
Because it looks like we could probably be snuck up on from behind, so I am just gonna try to remain as aware as possible.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and make a perception check for me? And while you're rolling that, Twiggy, are you still just riding along on Lila's shoulder? Perfect.
I got an 18. I don't know why it's not showing up.
Silly
On,
rolls. I know that they just updated the Beyond 20 thing, so it might be acting up the
plugin maybe.
The plugin, yeah. Which is really awesome. When it works, go check it out. Beyond 20. So as the group heads down, all of a sudden there's like this vibration in the air, and that noise becomes almost consistent rather than just like a bloop, bloop. It's like a bloop, and it's almost like ringing bells, very loud, and you can feel it in the air. It's very strange, and then it just goes silent.
It sounds like some sort of alarm system. Larry doesn't like it.
Yeah, I don't think Lilith is liking this either.
Okay. What are you
You know,
what are you
like,
gonna do
it's
about
just-
it, you two?
Doesn't feel good. Like, if water's gonna be there, water should be there, not just stop all of a sudden. So, really drippy sinks, bad toilets, unpredictable underground creeks.
Right?
You go through the things of like,
Yeah,
what?
they thought that this area was haunted, but it was actually just really bad plumbing.
Could be.
So
I mean, I would say still like press on, but definitely kind of worried, like ready to, I don't know.
The next time they pass me those like squishy things, right? Lyra's gonna take like a closer look at them. 'Cause
Okay.
I know you said they're like kind of mushroomy like, right? Not really.
Well, so
Did
you
you say that?
on the
Did I
map you
dream
have those
that?
kind of bluish glows.
Right.
Those are like fungal growths that have a
Okay.
bioluminescence.
Right.
But
Right.
then,
Okay.
especially at this one that you're coming up next to, right next to those, to that one on the map, there is a what looks like it used to be a tunnel that essentially has been churned up and the dirt has filled it.
Right.
Why don't you make an investigation check?
I think you should lick it.
Surely nothing could go wrong.
Right.
Great.
Amazing.
Twinkie, maybe you should lick it.
Twiggy, lick it.
How are
Yeah.
Are you just looking at it, or how are you investigating it?
Honestly, she probably like looks at it really closely and then kind of like nudges it with her boot a little. Like she's not bare-handing this. Like
Yeah.
it's weird. This thing is weird. It's weird looking.
So you kind
What
of
if you have deadly spores? You gotta watch out.
She's already kicked it. Or not kicked it, but like she's nudged
Spores.
it, you know?
So as you kind of like walk up and you're looking at it and you kick it a little and some of the loose dirt kind of falls down, you do notice that there are little, you're pretty sure they're bone bits. There's just like little chunks of bone that seem to have been ground up and are kind of mixed up with all of this. And while that's going on and everyone's kind of trucking up that way, Dizzy, you hear a noise and you're kind of watching that direction. Behind the group, from the direction you came from, there's the sound of like dirt moving again.
Mm-hmm.
And from this, can you see where I'm pinging? I should ask first.
Oh yeah, I can
Okay.
see. Yeah.
Awesome. From that collapsed tunnel or filled in tunnel, you see something start to emerge, like some form. It's not really like a person crawling out, but you see like something is crawling out from it, and like dirt's kind of being pushed away.
Okay. I'm gonna alert the rest of the party. Like,
Okay.
hey, y'all, like something's coming up behind us. Yeah, like it doesn't. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I'm not feeling it.
Okay. Well, why don't we do this? Why doesn't everyone click on their token and then roll initiative?
Alright. Let's see if I fix the thing. Oh, it goes clicky clack.
Hooray!
Oh, I like it.
And I need to pop this out. Bring it down here.
No, it's not printing.
I could see everyone's rolls like on Beyond, D&D Beyond, but it doesn't show it on Roll20. So,
Yeah, same.
Dizzy, what did you get?
oh, I haven't rolled yet.
Oh, gotcha. Because I can just swap it out.
I got a 14.
14. I'm going to roll for Kaylin. That is not
Oh
Kaylin.
man, Lyra is still not doing great. I love this. Fine.
Everything is fine, right?
Everything is more than fine. It's going swimmingly.
All right, Lilith, what did you get?
3.
Okay. And Twiggy
5.
and Lyra.
22.
Nice. Oh, you're on there twice. What's going on? I must not have cleared it correctly. My bad.
Mm.
All right, so Lyra, you hear Dizzy call out that something's behind you. What do you do?
Well, Lyra immediately turns around. She's like, nope. She isn't like being snuck up on, so she's, no, thank you. No, thank you. And she probably like goes back towards Dizzy and is like looking back that way. She doesn't like rush towards it, but she's probably like, actually, she probably goes like here, right? Like not right next to Dizzy, but is like,
Okay.
and she'll look at Dizzy. She'll be like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, and so you look back towards that tunnel and you can see what looks like a large, multi-legged creature, very long with like a carapace on it and some mandibles that begin clicking as they free themselves of this dirt. And you can see that the dirt has pushed itself aside, or has been pushed aside as it
Great.
emerges from that
And
area.
I'm kind of sigh and go, oh, I hate bugs. And just like, you know, she's gonna ready herself. She's holding her action for the moment.
Okay. Yona cries out, There's more over here.
Great.
And then is going to he's hurting, so he actually goes here. Dizzy, what do you do?
I'm gonna ready my ready in action.
Okay. What are you readying?
Let's see. I guess I don't have a ranged weapon. I will ready my dagger for throwing purposes.
And what's going to trigger that if
If the creature comes closer, I guess within, what, 20 feet?
Okay. Sounds good. So it needs to move about 10 feet towards you?
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Well, shortly thereafter, you hear the sound of that churning dirt more than it's really what you can see. This one kicking up. 1, 2. Go ahead and make your attack. And if it doesn't pop through on roll 20, just let me know what you rolled.
I rolled the wrong thing. Hold on. I rolled a 12.
A 12. So your dagger goes winging at it, and it glances off of this thing's carapace. Like you can see, it has this thick armor-like carapace on it, and it hit it, but didn't seem to overwhelm its armor.
Okay.
So close. Anything else? Or no, wait, sorry, that was your held action. All right, so it moved 10, 25. So it skitters towards you and will attempt to bite you.
Rude.
Does a 15 hit you?
Yes it does.
Okay. So as it sinks its kind of like mandibles in, you see that these mandibles kind of come out of its mouth or this opening and curve around, and it has a few kind of serrated protrusions on it, and it bites into your leg. But as it does so, your leg burns and you take 4 piercing damage, but something just like burns up your leg, and it like just kind of, the sensation washes through your body. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh my god.
14.
14. Okay. So just double checking. Even though the burning is there, you kind of shrug it off. You like stamp your foot, and some like little like greenish liquid drips out of the wound. And the two of you, Lyra and Dizzy,
Great.
see another one skittering along as you're facing away from it, the left wall, kind of keeping close to the wall as it moves towards you. Lilith and Twiggy, you notice this one that's climbing out of this hole here moves forward and is going to bite at Kaylin.
Now, I have a Sacred Flame cantrip
Okay.
that I think I would like to put on that. Can I do that on the creature? Flame-like
You
resistance?
will be able to after when it comes to be your turn, because it's an action
Okay.
instead of a reaction.
Gotcha. Ugh, that makes me heartsick. All right.
Fortunately, Kaylin sees it coming, and he actually just dodges out of the way pretty easily. And that's when you notice that another has climbed out over here and moves towards you. Twiggy, you notice the earth is still churning behind it. And that one is not engaged with you on the map. It looks like it is, but since you're sitting on, technically you're on Lilith's shoulder, it is not there, like in your space. Only the one that went up to Lyra, or Lilith, will get an attack on this turn. Does a 20 hit Lilith?
Yes, it does.
All right, so Lilith, you feel kind of like this distant, almost like, it's this weird kind of numb sensation in your leg as you take 4 piercing damage. Go ahead and make a con save, as there's just this warmth in your leg. It's very distant. It kind of feels strange. $14. And it just fades away.
Nice.
And then it is, I believe that is Yona's turn, actually. Yona is like, yeah, you guys are doing great, and will dodge.
Oh,
Twiggy.
Well, I'm going to chuck my boomerang at the one that just bit Lilith.
Okay.
Yeah, chuck it. See if this thing rolls now. I've been poking at this thing.
And since you're
Do
not,
the thing.
since you're like up, I'm going to say you're not engaged, so it won't be a disadvantage.
Grand. Oh, it goes click-a-clack.
Click, clack on your end. I don't see anything, so you just let me know what you got.
I don't see any. Oh, there it is. 15.
15 will hit. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Why is it rolling so slowly, though?
That is a good question.
Why am I rolling so many ones as well? It's my
Yeah.
3rd one today, so it's 5 points of
Five.
5
so
points.
what happens
in a
when
base.
the boomerang goes out and kills this creature? I said, so what happens when you throw the boomerang out and it kills this creature?
Oh, I mean, like, he's not even standing up. He's still sitting. He just kind of flicks the boomerang at it, bonks it. I mean, he's used to killing insect fae. It'll come back. It's fine. I mean, look, there's more over there. It's a game.
It's a game.
What do we do?
the whack the spider game.
Let's rock the spider game.
So does it like crush its skull and then the boomerang comes back to you, or do you have to retrieve the boomerang?
Boomerang returns.
Okay. Good to know.
It's so cool. I love those things.
Ridiculous. All right. And are you staying on Lilith's shoulder?
Yep. I'm gonna play whack-a-mole up here.
Perfect. So Kalen, who's kind of dancing around with the one that's in her, that's attacking him, he's gonna go ahead and try and stab it. He doesn't want to get bit by one of these things. Unfortunately, him, kind of trying to dodge it has allowed it to move in a way that he is unable to stab it. So Lilith, now is the time that if you wanted to do your sacred flambe, you could.
Yeah. It's like choices.
All right.
What kind of flambe do I want to do? Yeah, let's do. Let me think. Because I feel like I should probably. You know what? I'm going to do a moonbeam. But I'm going to do the moonbeam here to get these guys. I know they're further from me.
Okay, back there. Gotcha.
Uh-huh. See if I can't take those guys out so everybody else can kind of like get closer. Did that push through?
It did.
It did.
plop this moonbeam down. So do you want to start it on one of the creatures, and in the hopes that, because they're a little too far apart from each other?
Yeah.
But you
Let's
notice
start it
that.
on the closest one to
Okay, perfect. All right, so on its turn, it will make a save and likely be cooked, at least for some radiant damage. Anything else?
I think I'm not able to do any other kind of actions, so that'll do it.
Sounds good. That brings us back to the top of the round. Lyra, you notice that end has been illuminated by some soft and welcoming moonlight that you know is very burny if you walk into it. In fact, you notice that creature's carapace is beginning to kind of sizzle on top. Behind it, you see the other one heading towards the moonbeam, but maybe it'll go around. You know that there are some here out of your line of sight. You can kind of see this one that is heading towards Kaylin and Yona and Lilith. What do you do?
I mean, Lara hates being ambushed like this, like so much. So she probably like throws her dagger at this one.
Okay.
Kind of like says, Dizzy, and like takes a step to the side a little bit, right? Because like Dizzy's right in her line of shot, so she probably, kind of comes up here a little bit and like, throws her dagger at this thing, and like is kind of aiming like right for like that like gap between,
right between its mandibles.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and make your attack.
Hates bugs, like hates bugs.
Nice. And go ahead and roll your damage.
Did I do that? No, not yet. Hold on. Okay. So that's with the sneak attack. So total 14.
Okay. So how does your dagger take this one out?
Yeah, it kind of like this thing's probably like chittering, right? Because its carapace is starting to like from the moonbeam. And so as it's chittering, she just kind of like throws the dagger so that it like kind of retroactively like is chittering, and it chitters around the dagger, and it just kind of like and stops. It's just like like.
And
probably like
just like the scent of like cooking meat begins to fill the corridor as the moonbeam is nuking the dead creature. Anything else?
She's going to actually there is something else. Where is it? She's gonna use her bonus action. I think this counts as a bonus action. Let me double check. Okay, it does count as a bonus action. She like these tunnels were closed off. Clearly these weird centipede-like creatures have like dug their way around. And so she wants to see like if, how do I word this? So they came from these tunnels, but like, are they alone? Are there sounds to like that they're more coming? Are they kind of like little like scouts?
Make a perception check.
So yeah, so she has her eye for detail, pretty much is what that is.
Okay.
So perception check to spot a hidden creature or object, or an investigation check to uncover or decipher clues.
Gotcha.
Perception she has an advantage on. So twice. Well, at least there's a 13 there.
13? Okay. With the 13, you notice that there are, you do hear that, like, that churning of dirt. You can kind of feel it in the ground now that you're paying attention to it, almost like there's more moving through the earth around you or something. You can't really discern where it's coming from, though. Somewhere around you.
Okay, Larry's just going to kind of, like, out loud so everybody can hear her, like, they're not alone.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yona is... he undoes his short bow, like, that he's had over his shoulder, knocks an arrow, and is going to... Sorry, this guy is toast, so let me do this. He's going to take a shot at the one that is attacking his friend Kalen over there. Pew! And will hit for 1 piercing. Good job, Yona. Yeah, it actually doesn't even stick in. It just kind of like glances off. But Lilith and Twiggy are there. You can see that a little bit of like kind of ichor, this kind of weird purplish ichor is oozing out of its side. Dizzy, what do you do?
I'm gonna use Dissonant Whispers on the one that's in the distance.
Okay.
Like,
This one here?
yeah.
Perfect. Wisdom or intelligence saving throw?
Wisdom with
Okay.
the DC 13.
Well, can't get any worse than that. Go ahead and roll your damage. Let me know what you get.
Looks like 16.
Okay. So the dissonant whispers seep their way into this thing's head and kill it. What happens? Like, what happens when it dies?
It just kind of rides in pain, trying to figure out, I guess, where these whispers are coming from.
Okay. Anything else?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay. On their turn, this one crawls forward and rises up and tries to bite at Lilith.
No.
And will once again get a 20.
What?
Lilith, you're going to take that 4 piercing and make me a... Let me double check. Yeah, you're not immune to it, so make me a con saving throw. Once again, you feel this kind of distant pain, but the poison that it injects along with it just doesn't do anything. This one here is going to take a bite at Kalen. And I think... Yeah, unfortunately that does hit Kalen. So he needs to do a con save. Oh, no! You see it, like, just rise up, and it gets Kalen, like, right in the, like, under the armpit, like, bites into his chest, and it just arcs around through his back, and you just see him, like, shriek in pain, or you hear him shriek in pain as he, like, tries to lean away from it, and you can see the venom just, like, pumping from this thing's bite into his flesh. Let me double check, because he was healed last time, so he's not at...
He also
That's not
gets a 1d6 plus 4 temporary hit points because
perfect.
of the Twilight Sanctuary.
You said a d6 plus 4?
Yeah.
All right, so he's
1d6
got
plus 4.
5, which disappear from the bite and the poison, but it also takes a good chunk of what he was going to suffer. So yeah, he's definitely in pain over there,
Okay.
and you can kind of see it as the bare spots on his skin that you can see under his armor and his face and stuff kind of start this weird kind of purplish greenish hue as it's pumping through his veins.
Ew.
Lyra, you do see, and Dizzy, because you're both facing the same way, you do see a couple more churn their way out of this here tunnel.
Lyra hates it.
And they'll get to there. And one more comes out next to Kalen. Moves forward and is going to take a bite at Kalen. And that also hits him. he is currently poisoned, so he has this save at disadvantage.
Oof. Not the poison. Not the gumdrop buttons.
Kalen kind of looks back at you, Lilith, and both of his eyes roll up, but like as they close, the larger eye can't quite close, and so when he falls to the ground, it's just like staring at you, like kind of partially lidded.
Oh.
Yona cries out, "No, Kalen!" and is going to take another shot with that bow. When I find his character sheet, sorry. This time, really feeling the anger of his friend being dropped by this creature, he shoots the one that bit Kalen first. The arrow goes just like through the thing's head and hits the rock on the other side and clatters to the ground. And for a moment, you think he missed, and then it like kind of shudders and collapses to the ground. Twiggy, what are you doing?
Well, he's clearly playing the game wrong, but that's fine. I mean, sometimes you just get taken down by bugs. I'm gonna chuck the old boomerang his way.
Okay.
Smack that guy.
At this one here?
Yeah, the one on Amanda there. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So let's see if I got it fixed now. And that dice is so slow to roll, but it makes all the nice clicky clack sounds.
Maybe that's why it's slow now. It's all the clicky clacks slowing things down.
I mean, it's just okay. Well, that's an 8.
An 8. You're trying to not hit Kalen's body, and it's kind of crawling on him. And so as you throw it, you throw a little high. It swirls, like arcs, and comes back to you. Anything else?
Nope. I'll try again next time.
Okay. You notice as Kalen's body kind of takes a shuddering breath. He is unconscious, but he seems to still be alive. Lilith, what do you do?
He's just barely alive.
He is. He looks like he's in death's grip, but... Oh man, are death saving throws made at disadvantage with poison?
Skill check.
Yeah, I'm going to cure wounds. Do cure wounds on him.
Okay, so you're going to move forward to be able to touch
I'm
him?
going to move forward to do that.
So you'll move out of this one's range, so it'll go to attack of opportunity. Are you okay with that?
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, no.
I mean,
but
your mouth said sure, but your face says no. No, not initiative. What are you doing? But a 14 will miss you, correct?
Yes.
All right. It takes a chomp at you as you head that way, but nothing. It misses completely.
Okay.
And so you heal him for 14.
Is that what pops up?
That's what popped up here.
Yeah,
Is that okay?
That's what popped up. Yes.
So he takes a sudden breath and looks at you, and his normal-sized eye springs open, and the other one rolls forward to look at you, and there's just this like kind of look of thankfulness on his face. Anything else?
A knowing look and a tisk tisk. You got to keep yourself on your feet. We need you.
I can't do it for you all the time.
And that's it.
On the other end of this battle, Lyra, you see these two other ones that have just climbed out, heading in your direction. The moonbeam is still burning strong. It looks like Yona is getting ready to knock another arrow to shoot, but he's facing away from you. It looks like he's shooting off the other way. You can't see what's going on around this area.
Right.
You just see this one That's kind of like hovering, like it's kind of raised up on its long body, and you're not sure which direction it's gonna head. So what do you want to do?
Okay. Well. Hmm. Hmm.
Decisions.
Yeah. Literally. I feel like, I mean, Lilith is down there, and Yona's knocking arrows down there, and Twiggy is down there, kind of, and so she's gonna be like, you know what, they have it handled. And she's not gonna leave Dizzy by themselves, right? Like,
Totally
so
fair.
she's gonna take a step next to this one, pull her dagger out of its jaws, right? And then just kind of use her 2 weapon fighting to go 1, 2.
Okay, so just like, whew. Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me roll for both of those. Well, you want me to do one at a time or both?
I can't remember if yours is gonna roll with advantage, so just do them one at a time, just in case.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, well that's the one on the right.
Okay.
So that's this one.
And the one on the left.
Okay.
So the one on the right, it just like its head just kind of like moves out of the way just as you're throwing it, and so your aim was just slightly off. But the one on the left, you absolutely nailed it. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Okay. So 13 total.
So you wouldn't get your sneak attack on this one.
She does have insightful fighting. As a bonus action, you can make an insight check against a creature that you can see that is incapacitated, contested by a target's deception check. If you succeed, you can use your sneak attack against that target, even if you don't have advantage on the attack roll.
Gotcha. Do you want to roll that?
So, yeah.
And what do I roll? What do I roll in response?
Deception.
Yeah, this is going to be amazing. Oh.
Oh, well, you know.
With its -4.
Somehow.
Yeah, it's just it's the weird way
fighting.
it's moving. Like, it's just kind of like this strange, and it's a bug. You're just kind of freaked out. But how much damage does that do without
6?
6? It's still enough. How does it kill that one?
You know, it's probably moving a little weird, and so the dagger that Lyra threw to hit it probably hits in a weird, like she was probably aiming like right for its head, because it's like doing that weird movie thing. It probably just like goes like right into its side, and just like lodges itself in there.
And you're not really sure what you hit, but it shrieks and shudders and then collapses to the ground.
Yes.
All right. Anything else?
No, I believe that's it from Lyra.
All right. Yona does knock another arrow. Leave my friend alone. But is just so upset. He releases the arrow too soon. You hear the twang of the bow. You can tell he didn't fire it quite right. And it goes wide. Dizzy, so Lyra just took out most of them that are heading your direction. There is the moonbeam kind of illuminating things. You see one more heading your direction, and you can see one to the south as well that seems to be gearing up to head towards Yona. What do you do?
Alright, the one that's heading towards Yona, I will use fairy fire on it.
Okay. That's a dexterity saving throw, correct?
Yes.
As you light it up with, as your magic fills the area, it definitely begins to dance across the carapace and illuminate it. Attacks on this one have advantage for a minute, correct?
Yes.
Cool. Anything else?
Nope, nothing at all. I'm
Okay.
good.
All right. Well, this one has taken care of... No. Let's see. You moved there, and you've healed him. He's at 14, right? So he is no longer unconscious. Let me remove this. He is still poisoned. This one, I'm going to roll randomly. Odd is going to be Kaelin there. Even will be Lilith. All right. It doesn't understand why Kaelin is moving again, and it kind of crawls on him some more, looks down, and just lunges. Because he is prone, it does have advantage.
That's horrible.
And will hit him once again. He needs to make a con save. And he will do so. And so you see him like get slashed, but he actually moves with the attack. He sees it coming, and it just slashes him with the mandible. It doesn't even get a chance to inject its venom into him. What does... Never mind. This is still my turn. What am I talking about? This one here heads up towards Yona and takes a chomp at him. And will hit Yona, so Yona needs to make a Constitution saving throw, which he will fail. Lilith, you hear Yona cry out behind you.
No, I'm sorry.
As he collapses to the ground and is poisoned. All right. One left up here. 1, 2, 3. This thing comes skittering towards you in the moonlit tunnel, Lyra, and is going to try and chomp at you.
Oof.
20 hits? Okay. Need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Great.
Oh. Do you have any poison effects as far as reduction?
She does not. It's
Okay.
just against being charmed.
Just wanted to double check. So you are going to take 4 piercing and 10 poison damage, and you are poisoned.
Lyra is not doing so great. So 14 total? Great.
14
Yeah,
total.
Lyra is
Okay.
she's not great. She's barely standing. She
Uh,
probably stumbles a little bit and like hisses as like, that piercing damage kind of gets her.
how not great are you doing?
Really not great. Like she might grow some more things.
Oh, why don't you make a charisma saving throw for me?
Okay, sounds good.
What does
Sounds like a plan,
just
Jer.
cause.
Just cause.
What could go wrong?
5.
Oh, amazing. All right, we'll come back to you.
Okay, great. Okay, great.
Yona is going to make a death save. Wrong button. Oh no.
Oh.
Dizzy, you're closest, and you can hear like Yona begins to choke on something. He's like still breathing, but it sounds like unconscious. He is choking on something.
Oh no.
Twiggy,
Well,
what do you do?
so I looked up the boomerang stuff, and it only returns on a miss. So
Oh,
I
good
do
to know.
not have it.
Yeah,
I
well,
do not have it in hand. But I do have a rapier. And I need to go get my boomerang back. So I'm going to draw my rapier and flit down to this guy here who needs to be stabbed in the face. In the face.
in the first.
Yeah. Oh, it's so clickety clackety. Okay. And then does it print? There we go, 25.
25 will definitely hit.
And then is it damage? I wonder why it's not auto rolling on that. I could have sworn I selected that, but maybe not. For 7.
7.
7.
How do you kill this one?
Yeah, right through the face.
So you go down
Like
and
skewer it. You know, like you see in those East Asian, food markets, with the long centipedes on a skewer. Yeah, only it's like a small one because I'm a fairy.
Gotcha. So pretty much just its face instead of the whole thing.
Just his face, but
Yeah.
in my mind, it's a skewer.
And it's gonna be delicious.
This is gonna be delicious. Probably would be if I roasted it. Twiggy is briefly distracted as he thinks about that for a second.
There is actually the scent of roasting giant centipede filling this cave or this tunnel because the moonbeam is just barbecuing the one that's
That's why
sitting in
he's
it.
distracted. It's
Yeah.
been a while since he's eaten, like
Been too long for Dizzy or
and-
Twiggy. Oh my god, we
Right.
both did it. We both did it.
Anything else there, Twiggy?
Nope. I'll get the boomerang next round.
Kalen will get up, so that's half his movement, and he's going to move to here and try and stab the one that is attacking his friend. And you hear it screech as he just jams his short sword into the ground, stabbing through the thing's body. It writhes up for a moment and then relaxes as it perishes. Oops, wrong button. All right, so Lilith, what do you do?
Well, looks like the immediate danger is kind of. Are there other ones over by Lyra?
You do see,
Okay.
glancing back, it's kind of hard to tell because this outcropping here is blocking, but you kind of look that direction and you hear the scuffle that's kind of going on. So you get the feeling that this little bit of odd movement that you can see next to your moonbeam is another one of those.
All right, I want to, move my moonbeam up to where that thing is.
Perfect.
Yep.
Anything else?
And that'll do it. I guess I need to roll for that. Weird. Super weird. Did that go
I
through?
need it did.
Yes.
I can't, I think I might
Alright.
be doing something incorrectly. But we're going to finish this fight that way, and we'll see what happens.
Okay.
Anything else? Because that's your action to move it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
My action to place that there, which, yeah.
Okay.
And I guess I'm gonna walk closer to these guys if I can.
Okay.
Can I stand on top of the dead body?
You can. And it looks like there's nothing you can do about it unless you have a bonus action heal or something, but there is this kind of rattling death wheeze coming from Yona there.
I'm gonna console Yona for the time being until I can do another action.
It's okay, the twilight isn't that bad.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
All right, this is it. Let's see what happens to Yona.
Oh boy.
Dun dun dun.
He manages. There's just this gagging, coughing wheeze that he manages just barely to cling to life. Dizzy, what do you do?
I'm gonna move here. And I'm gonna swing at the one that Lyra's fighting with my rapier.
Okay. Swing away, Dizzy.
Does a
Swing
20
away.
hit?
A 20 does hit.
For 4 piercing damage. I
4
guess.
piercing damage is just what you needed. What happens?
I'm just gonna, just pierce its skull, or I guess doesn't have a skull. 'Cause it's a bug,
I mean, it has an
but
external
whatever.
skull.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. And it kind of shrieks, its legs twitch for a moment, and then it collapses to the ground.
Okay. And I guess I'll use my bonus action to give Bardic Inspiration to the downed friend. I don't know if that actually helps for death saving throws, or if you can even use Bardic Inspiration while you're unconscious, but...
That's a good question. I'm going to say yes for now. We'll look it up later.
Okay.
Soothing his soul. He's
right?
like, ah.
So technically before we get to... Oh, nope, he's... He is next. All right. How did it already become his turn? That seems wrong. Did I skip someone? Oh, I've got Yona on here twice. Bloop. All right, so that would have been Dizzy, Giant Centipedes, who were all gone. Twiggy, what do you do?
Well, I get my boomerang from the ground.
Okay.
And I'm gonna, I guess, flit over here, see what the fuss is. But I'm super distracted by that cooking smell. I mean, so like I have a brief moment where I'm like, oh, that guy's dying. But no, there's, excuse me, hold on.
If anything, it's growing because now the moonbeam is cooking another one.
Oh, yeah. Just, I'll pause for a second, almost say something, make my way north. That's more interesting, that delicious cooking thing. Wonder what he would taste like if we cooked him. Can you do that? Is that allowed down here? Oh, I don't know.
So, Dizzy and Lyra, as Twiggy floats up your direction, he's kind of muttering to himself about potentially cooking Yona, whether or not that's... And how delicious these creatures would be. Kaylin moves here. Does not have a medicine check, so we'll just try to stabilize with wisdom. He kind of like partially covers some of the wound that knocked down his friend, and it seems like Yona's breathing somewhat gets a little better. Lilith, what do you do?
Let's go ahead and cure wounds on him.
Okay.
Did that go through?
And with that kind of gurgling, choking noise stops as he sits up and coughs, and Yona looks around at all of you. Thank you.
Yeah, buddy.
You guys
glad
are so
you're with us.
squishy, right? So as everyone kind of looks around, there's like this soft sizzling and like a couple pops every so often as the meat inside of the carapace that is cooking is kind of, doing what meat does on a barbecue. What do you all do?
Gonna drag that hot sucker out of the mooner wave. Yeah, what's what we call it?
Did you notice that this one here?
Stopped.
there is
Yeah.
one that's closer to you that already looks barbecued.
Oh yeah. Pull that thing out, pop it open like a lobster. Closest thing we're gonna get to a lobster roll down here.
Gotta make sure.
Yeah,
Delicious.
you gotta make it work. Nom, 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 nom. Dig in.
And Lilith, did you say you were gonna drop Moonbeam?
Yeah, I'll drop Moonbeam
Okay.
so he can go to the other one if he wants.
The moon away.
Lyra looks deeply disturbed by this. Just like look of like disgust, and like you hear her muttering something about like never getting used to it and blah blah blah. Like, you know, 'cause she's known Twiggy, but she's just like.
I feel like Twiggy, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. You're just like land lobster. Come on.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, want some? Between like
Lyra
stuff
looks
like,
even more disgusted. Like, just even more disgusted. Like,
there's just like
no.
juices streaming down the fur on the fairy as he's just devouring what's left of this thing. So Yona stands up and leans against the wall. Both of them are still poisoned, and they look just like a little sickly. But it seems as though whatever... Lyra, make a... Oh, I totally forgot to come back to your thing.
Yeah, I forgot about it too. Lyra is almost dead.
That's all right.
Oh
It's
my
totally my
God.
fault. Make a perception check for me. Just straight, no advantage on this one.
Yeah, I was gonna say this one. She's like almost dead.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
don't
Lilith needs to make her way over there.
Okay. Lyra, you notice that the churning noise isn't gone, but it's much quieter, and you don't feel that vibration that you had noticed earlier. And Lilith
Okay.
heads towards Lyra. What are you all doing?
Noshing.
I'm gonna check on Lyra,
Okay.
see how Lyra's doing.
You do notice that there's a slightly more obvious distortion to Lyra's features, that enlargement of her eyes that you've seen before, but it hasn't really taken over. It's more of like it stopped partway through the shift.
Okay, and I'm assuming there's probably nothing that I can do.
You did play music for Lyra when she was in her fully shifted form, and it kind of like halted her for a moment, and you were able to kind of like calm her that way. So maybe do that. Like that's what your thought is. Nice. So
it
this
actually went
soft,
through.
this soft, gentle. Oh yeah, nice. The soft, gentle music kind of calms you, Lyra, a little bit. Go ahead and make that charisma save again. Yeah, much better. And Dizzy, as you're watching, her features kind of seem to meld back towards what Lyra typically looks like. And the hair that's grown on her arms and the little knobs that kind of stick up through her hair all recede. And Lyra, you're back to your typical looking self.
she looks very annoyed at like she can't control this, right? So like whenever it happens, she's just like so frustrated, and like she probably just like looks to, like she doesn't really believe in many gods, right?
Fair.
She does believe in the ones that matter. Any deities in the world listening to her. But she probably just like looks skyward, like grumbling and like, you're gonna do something with me, just do it already. Like she's frustrated, like, leave me alone.
Totally fair. Twiggy's noshing. What's Lilith doing?
Out with Lyra. She's kind of concerned because of, the horns and the things going on. And Lyra, do you need more like wound curing or anything?
Lyra definitely looks like she's usually like a medium lavender color. She's probably like a sickly light pale purple
Okay.
right now. Like, she doesn't look great.
So
Yeah,
I'm gonna do
desperately
another
needs-
cure wounds on
Okay.
Lyra, if that's okay. There, child.
I mean,
There,
I'm not
my
going to stop
child.
you, but
Does
consent
that get rid of her
is
poison?
required in this
or...
game. So, it does not get rid of poison. She is still poisoned.
Oh,
Great.
all right.
Okay. Well, she'll take those 15 though. She'll give Lilith like a small like nod. Just like a nod of thanks.
Yeah. Seems
Still
right.
looks like she feels kind of sick though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, your skin tone kind of like flushes back a little, but still remains. There's almost like kind of a greenish hue to it, to some of her veins.
Oh man. Lilith is gonna kind of look at everybody individually and kind of like raise an eyebrow and like look back at Lyra like, are you seeing this?
Lyra, make a actually, everyone make a perception check.
Regular for Lyra?
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, because you'd be at disadvantage, it'll just be a straight
Oh,
roll.
right. Right.
Nice. And Twiggy is the only one I'm
Rolling
missing.
real slow.
Rolling.
14.
Nice.
Is that right?
I didn't see it come through, but yourself and Lilith, as everyone's kind of calming down and taking stock of the situation, you hear coming from somewhere. Twiggy, you're not really sure where it's coming from, but Lilith, you have a better idea. You hear
No. Well, we clearly have to help somebody. Do you hear that?
I mean, there's enough to share, I guess, but like,
Lilith, you're pretty sure it's coming from like this collapsed tunnel area here.
On over there.
Okay. And as you get closer, it's definitely coming from somewhere behind all that dirt.
Start like, I don't know, doggy digging.
Doggy digging it. Gotcha. As one does.
As one does. I don't think I have anything that could be used as a digger, so we're just gonna go ahead and doggy dig it.
All right, so as you dig into the dirt there, it's very soft, comes away quite easily. You do notice there's like, chips of bone. Every so often there'll be like a scrap of fabric. It's almost like, it's kind of like composting actually. And a moment, after a few moments of digging, it kind of, the top area kind of collapses towards you and rushes out around your feet. And there's like a hollow area behind, and you can see with your twilight dark vision, there's a person kind of like crammed back as far as they can go against like what looks like another wall of that earth. He's in a very small pocket of air, and his eyes are wide, and he's just kind of looking around. He apparently cannot see in the dark.
Don't trust people in a tunnel, but we're gonna do it anyway. Hello! Are you okay?
Who is that?
And invite him to come on out.
Who is that? Who am I? I'm trying to find a token. Something that looks nice. I should have looked this up before the game. What's everyone else doing while this is going on? Let's start with Dizzy. Dizzy, what are you doing?
Dizzy doesn't want to get ambushed again, so they're gonna be, on the lookout again to make sure that, nothing sneaks up on us.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a perception check. Was it the 11?
Oh yeah, it was
Okay.
the 11.
Okay.
Actually, I don't know why I would have rolled twice. And maybe that was another perception check.
Okay. And Twiggy, what are you up to?
Noshin, he's pretty pleased that this has yielded some delicious land lobster.
Yeah.
And, he misses hanging out with that lizard folk guy, that one time in the woods where, he got to sample all sorts of wonderful things out in the, the journeys, exotic foods from around the world. Just chalking them up on, this is another one for the list.
Absolutely.
Delicious.
Lyra, so Dizzy is kind of keeping an eye out the way you came from, and Twiggy is gnawing away at this mostly cooked centipede. What do you want to do?
Yeah, Lyra wants to get away from that because it's like she's poisoned, so she already feels kind of gross. And
Right.
like watching Twiggy do this, she's kind of like,
Oh,
like so she's gonna go over here, kind of like sidestep Kaylin and Yona, right, and just kind of like squeeze around them to go by Lilith because she kind of heard Lilith making a ruckus commotion down that way. Right, and
Yeah.
she's like, maybe Lilith shouldn't be alone right now.
okay. So Lilith,
And she's gonna help Lilith with this whole thing. She's probably gonna come like here-ish.
okay. Yeah, you see Lilith like essentially standing at the entrance of this hole that she's like dug out, and kind of beyond her, it's hard to see. Her very large form is in the way, but you can make out that there is somebody in the tunnel where she dug out. Looks human. And Lilith, you can see that he's, looking around. Who is that? Who's there?
I'm just going to introduce myself. Like, hi, I'm Lilith, and I'm here with my friends. We heard you yelling for help.
Well, thank you. Thank you for. Do you have a light? Those creatures, they attacked us. Are my friends out there still?
Oh boy. We don't see any of your friends. Now, do I still have Twilight Sanctuary? Should he be able to see it all?
Would you like to grant him that ability?
No, like just within my glow. Like, can he
So
at least see?
I think the way I read it is you have to grant that ability to, like, it's not to everyone within it. It's like to the people that you grant the ability to within that area. So if you want to add him to it, then he would be able to see with dark vision for 30 feet.
I think I can only do it for 6 people, so I'm going to leave him blind and light up a torch.
Gotcha.
And hand it to him.
So there's a spark and then a flare as your torch lights up, and he closes his eyes and kind of squints for a moment and then reopens them, and he looks very dirty and he does have some injuries, but they're pretty superficial. It looks like the clothes that he's wearing protected his body quite a bit. He's got like some excessive amounts of layers on, you would say. He's dressed like kind of like a noble. It doesn't look like he is a Caliban, more like a person from above. And his long brown hair is all matted with the dirt, and he kind of blinks and reaches forward and takes the torch. Oh, there you are. Thank you so much. And he kind of starts butt scooching his way towards you.
Awesome. So what are you, what is he doing in there? I want to know all about it.
Oh, my friends and I came down here. We were trying to. Well, we were trying to find a bounty on this creature that's lurking around down here.
A bounty? Well, tell us about the bounty. Tell us about the creature.
They won't say what it looks like, only that you'll know it when you see it.
That's helpful.
But it's the Church of Man has put the bounty out.
Oh.
Oh my word.
Everybody's looking for this creature.
Lyra literally just like sighs and rolls her eyes. I'm like, of course there's another group. Like, yeah.
You say you haven't seen my friends?
Boy.
He begins like shining the light down the tunnel to the south on the map from you. Hello, Seth! Roderick, hello!
They might be dead.
What?
We just battled a bunch of these spiders. And maybe the spiders had gotten your friends.
Well, I mean, they got me and they drug me into this tunnel, but that was hours ago.
Lilith is gonna just kind of blankly look at him like, don't know what to tell you.
Okay. Disney, what are you up to?
So I'm just gonna look at Lyra and just say, why does no one know what this creature is that we're supposed to be finding? Yet everyone is so like set on finding it, but like we'll know when we see it. Like what
maybe it's us. Maybe Lyra just like shrugs. She's like, maybe it's us. Maybe it's us. Like at this point,
Twiggy.
anything's possible.
It could be Twiggy.
Lyra probably like looks over her shoulder at Twiggy, who's just like gnawing on this carapace and like centipede
you notice,
thing. It's like
actually, sorry, the light's gone now. There's just the torch. Even in the darkness, you can tell that there's just a layer of like gristle and oil covering Twiggy's body.
Of course.
I mean, he is something.
You definitely know him when you see him.
Lyra probably shouts down the hallway, Twiggy, you doing all of this? Are you what we're hunting? Like she's
What?
just like she's given up. Are we hunting you?
Wait. You said you weren't. Are you? Wait. Are you? So you admitting that you are, or are you?
I'm asking you if we should be.
I mean, no one should be. Really, not anybody should be hunting me ever, because that would be not how things are done. Clearly.
I would just be like, okay, and then turn back to Dizzy and be like, I got nothing.
Yeah. It could be anything. And no one knows what we're looking for, not even this foolish person that came down for a bounty.
So Lilith, as you're standing there, this fellow's just like, well, thank you for freeing me. I need to go off and find my friends. And he kind of starts heading south.
Should we let him go off on his own?
Like, we shouldn't let him just wander off.
Absolutely not.
Let's, how well do you know these tunnels? Because we're also, kind of we don't know the tunnels very well. Could you show us around and we could also just casually look for your friends at the same time?
I mean, I don't know them that well, but we came from this direction. I can show you back to where we entered.
Yes, that sounds great.
Well, all right, come this way. If
I mean,
you
do we
see,
trust him?
does anyone see my sword or anyone's gear? I had a backpack.
So you were gonna go off without your sword and gear?
Well,
There's just-
he has kind of been looking around while the conversation goes on. What do you
Or
do?
like maybe we can just look at the perimeter of where we're at.
Yeah, having looked like as you've been moving around, you would have noticed somebody's like sword and gear laying in these tunnels. You haven't seen anything.
Okay.
And if they came from the opposite direction from you, it's unlikely that they would have dropped it where you've been. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, we can keep our eyes out as we leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we should probably at least escort this person out because I don't think they have it in them to be able to survive on their own.
He's right.
So you all start following after him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I do at least.
Oh, are you going this way? I would be most thankful for the company. Actually, I do need to find Seth and Roderick.
Seth, Roderick. Oh boy. So tell us about Seth and Roderick. How are we gonna know them when we see them?
Oh well, we're in the smoking club together, and we used to go hunting when there was more things to hunt in the it was mostly rats. We would go hunting for rats, and he's just like kind of talking as he's like looking around on the ground and with his torchlight and such. So he continues to like lead you down the tunnel. Every so often there's like a split, and he very like assuredly takes one or the other. He doesn't seem to be very lost as far as going in this direction. But you don't see any signs of his gear. More than likely, it was somewhere in those tunnels. Is the only thing you can guess. Somewhere in all that dirt that was churned up.
Perfect.
And as you come to the end of a tunnel that you've been going down for several minutes now, and there's a pretty strong glow of a patch of those mushrooms, but it looks like a dead end. And the fellow stops and is like looking down at the mushrooms. What do you do?
Look, I was gonna say, are you supposed to lick them?
No, we have to climb through here. It's not a super pleasant experience. I'm trying to brace myself. It wasn't very fun to begin with.
What are these mushrooms even? Like, what are they even?
They seem to be some kind of fungus that has a bioluminescence. I don't suggest keeping your mouth open when you climb through. Seth didn't have the best report to the taste of them, he said.
Probably just not seasoned right.
Could be.
Try them with salt.
I'm not going to try them again. But they had to have gone this way. If you didn't see them the other way, then they had to have come back, right?
Lyra just like is deadpanned, like, and kind of shares a look with Dizzy, like, is this person for real? Like, does this person truly believe that? Like, Lyra is not an optimist like that, so she's just like, oh.
Yeah, I feel like if they were as skilled as our friend here, then they are probably no longer with us.
Lyra just like rolls her eyes and she's like, onward, I guess. And she just kind of says something like, yeah, totally. Like, very, like, in that tone of voice, too.
All right, well, this isn't gonna stay burning. And he like kind of drives the tip of the torch into the mushrooms, and you hear it as it goes out. For those of you with dark vision, I guess I should ask first, is Lilith, do you still have your Twilight Sanctuary up? Okay, so for those of you with natural dark vision, you, for a moment there's like a darkness, and then everything kind of kicks in where you can see further back than the very faint illumination of the mushrooms. Those of you who have the Twilight dark vision, same kind of thing, but everything has that kind of like purplish hue. And you notice that he just like gets down and starts like diving into the mushroom patch, and then he disappears.
So he said he was a hunter, right?
He said he was a hunter.
I wonder if he has any tracking skills that will
You did notice him looking around as though he were looking for tracks. Although he didn't seem to be able to find any of his friends returning this direction. So, take that as you will.
Did he, like, disappear into the mushrooms? Like,
He
kind of fade away?
Yeah, he seems to sink down into the mushroom patch.
Or, like, down a hole, like a rabbit hole.
You want to check it out?
Yeah.
Yeah, as you kind of like mush your way through, there's a fairly thick grove of these mushrooms growing up, but underneath it's almost like they're growing up in almost like an hourglass figure, and there's a hole beneath them that they are covering.
Ah, okay. So not quite like a gateway or, a typical door that this would normally. All right. Well, I mean, one can hope. One can hope. Right? There's a hole. It's not a gate out. I mean, which is, I guess, is good. It's probably good. It's better that way.
What do y'all think? You gonna follow this fellow?
Man.
Can Lyra roll a nature check to see, like, again, against these things, like, he said not to eat them, but, like, will actually touching them do anything to her? Like, she doesn't...
I'll give you this one. So, if
Okay.
he came through, and because he was just touching them now, it doesn't seem that there's any effect. He just said they taste
Okay.
like crap.
Okay. Lyra just kind of goes, okay, who first? She's not one to go first.
I will. I can't see, but I will.
Kalen takes out a torch and hands it to Yona. Sorry, I forgot his name for a moment there. And he's like, you just hang on to that in case you need it. And then Kalen goes over and climbs into the mushrooms.
Hmm.
Does anything noise-wise happen?
I mean, it sounds like a slurping, rubbery, climbing through a bunch of mushrooms sound, but no screams, no chomping, no crunching of bones.
Okay.
Anyone gonna follow him?
Sure.
Okay. So Lilith climbs through. It's kind of a tight squeeze for you. You're a pretty large person, and it's hard to get like your shield, the sword that you're wearing on your back kind of gets caught a couple of times and like rips off stalks of the mushroom. But you manage to make it through just fine. And you like kind of descend a little bit, and then the whole like levels doesn't like become like normal plane, but like it levels out a little bit so you're not just like falling. And you can see down below, Kalen is looking back up at you with his very large eye.
I mean, cool. I'll just follow him and say, "Are you sure you know where you're going?"
The guy that's beyond Kalen, you can just barely see him, and he stops and looks back. He's like, "Oh, yes, I'm quite sure of this direction. Anything beyond this, this is the way we came from. I never get lost underground." Is everyone going to follow after Lilith?
Yeah, Lyra will probably go
I
after
will.
Lilith does.
Okay. Lyra, go ahead and just roll a wisdom save for me.
Wisdom save?
Yeah. And remember, you're poisoned.
Yeah. $18.
Okay. So, you know how Lyra doesn't like to be touched?
Yeah.
And climbing through this, and your nerves are already kind of on edge, and it just feels like hands all around as you're kind of climbing through this, and you just have the hardest time, and there's this instinct in the back of your mind to just run. And like every so often you jerk, you have this like weird like jerking reaction. But then you're on the other side, and you just take a deep breath, and that weird sense fades away.
Okay.
Good save. And as everyone meets on the other side of this mushroom patch, and you see the tunnel stretch away ahead of you, that's where we'll end this week, because it's about that time. Any questions, comments, concerns, complaints?
Boy,
Oh, man.
I want someone to lick the mushroom.
No problem.
I was gonna say,
Yeah, I feel like Twiggy would be
right?
the best.
Yeah.
Mushroom,
Yeah.
mushroom.
Did you even have to ask? He's just over there.
Nom, nom, nom,
It is
nom.
delicious.
Ah, trash panda.
With wings.
That's
With
right.
wings.
Trash panda with wings. Delicious.
All right. Well, thanks for watching. If you're watching us live, if this is on YouTube, thanks for tuning in. We play live on Wednesdays at 2:30 p.m. Eastern, and for about 2 hours. And what else do I need to say? Halloween is this coming weekend. Happy Halloween. Everyone be safe. Have fun. Enjoy yourselves. I did release some stuff on my Ko-Fi, which I'll put the link in the show notes. If you're watching live, I don't think I've put my Ko-Fi in the Twitch yet. So, but I have some Halloween horror themed stuff going on over there. I think that's it. Oh yeah, I'm gonna put up some coloring pages before Halloween. So go check those out, because who doesn't like to color? No one. That's right. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next time. Bye.